Hey y'all, welcome back to Brant Murphy Garage, and today we got a Cobra.
Right off the bat, I'll tell you, this is a real Shelby Cobra. It's a kit car. But in my opinion, that doesn't really matter.
Even though this is not a real Shelby Cobra, to me, that doesn't really matter. You see, if it was a real Shelby Cobra, it's probably going to be sitting in someone's garage or warehouse or something underneath the cover. When they have their friends over, they take them out and they're like, hey, look at my Cobra. But it's never really going to get driven, because why would you risk destroying a piece of history like that? This is a Mark IV kit from Factory 5, and it comes with everything you need to build your own Cobra, minus the engine, transmission, rear end, and paint. Everything else you can source directly from Factory 5 to get you in the car that you desire. For this car particularly, we have a small block 302 up front. I think it's been bored 30 over, so that's like a 306. Mated to it is a T5 Tremec 5-speed manual transmission, and the rear end has 373 gears in it, and this color is just absolutely beautiful. Now, the kit does come with the 427 badges, and they did decide to put the 427 badges on it. Even though it's not a 427, at least it looks like it's a real Cobra, right? The engine itself is about 400 horsepower and 375 pound-feet of torque. It's a Blueprint Engines build. And I will tell you, in just about any gear that you are in at any speed, you will break the tires loose on this. Even though it has 315s in the back and 245s in the front, this car's grip is a little questionable. And that's probably related to the fact that it only weighs about 2,000 pounds. This is a very light car. It is a race car, and it acts like a race car. This is old school racing, so you don't have any fuel injection up front. You don't have an electronic diff in the back. There's no traction control. There's nothing to save you in this car except the skill of the driver. And that's what I think makes this car extremely fun. The fact that it's you, the car, and the road. It doesn't get much better than that. Taking a look inside the cockpit here, you'll see that it is very basic, because you don't need much on this car. You have your water temp, oil temp, volts, oil pressure gauge, and your fuel gauge, along with your tachometer and your speedometer. With there being no electronics, you don't need any extra stuff. It's just you and the car. One other thing you will notice is that there is not a lot of leg room in here. I mean, when I come in and try to sit down, you'll see I am very tight and cramped. I'm about 5'10", 5'11". And I'll tell you, when it comes to pressing down on the pedals, you kind of have to make sure you're wearing the smallest shoes possible, because like this is my foot all the way over. I'm pressing down on the gas. And look, my foot is touching the brake. It's crazy. Not a lot of leg room. For your passenger, feels like even less so. As for safety, well, you got your racing harness. You got your roll bar. What else you got besides that? Not a whole lot. Helmet and whatever racing suit you're wearing. But if you roll this thing over, I mean, there's a good chance you're going to take that forever good night. I personally believe these wheels are some of the best looking wheels on the kit car Cobras. Now, these are not real one lug, spin them off, you can pull it off. No, that's more like a hubcap. You take that off and you can expose the 5 lugs behind. This is what you have for trunk space. It is not a lot. You can maybe store your trophies from the car show in here, or your trophies from the road race. Either way, you're not fitting golf clubs back here, so you're either going to have to rent when you get to the course, or go do something more fun, like race cars. Coming around to the passenger side, we see that we have the gas cap. And let me tell you, this might be one of my favorite pieces on the car. Watch this. Boom! I love that. It is great. Take the gas cap off, fill it up, good to go. Going back around the side, we see these awesome side pipes, which I didn't know. The original Cobras didn't have the side pipes. I never really looked into it, but I guess they was routed out the back. And it's up to you if you like the side pipes or if you want it traditionally coming out the rear, but I like the side pipes. I think they're cool. There's our 427 badges for our definite 427 engine that we have in there. And bring it around the front. I mean, just look. God, that is cool. I really like the look of this car. I love the paint. I love the racing stripes. I love everything about it. Does it scare me? A little bit, but this is a fun car. And if you have the money to either buy one of these or build one of them yourself, I feel like you should do it because there is nothing else like driving one of these vehicles. All right, let's take her for a drive. So my closing thoughts on the car is this. I love it. I want one. If I had the money to buy one, I would. And if you have the money to buy one or to build one yourself, I think you should do it because there is no other vehicle that has given me this type of feeling that I have when I'm driving it. And I think this is something that Carroll Shelby would be proud of if he were still around today. And honestly, styling wise, I mean, you can't beat the looks on this car. So yeah, I love everything about this. I don't care that it's a kit car. I think that it is something that everyone who is a car enthusiast should experience.